Renaissance 1350 AD, 15th century Renaissance. Introduction. Renaissance and the Age of Enlightenment. Renaissance and Enlightenment were two time periods in history which began a new phase, transforming human culture as we know it. This Renaissance and Enlightenment both new ideas. In scholarly circles, impact had remarkably different. The Renaissance was marked by renewed interest. Learning ancient cultures of Greece, Roman Empire. The Enlightenment was period following the Renaissance, which led to heavy inflow of ideas sought to better the condition of humankind. The Renaissance had begun in the late 13th century, lasted until the beginning of 17th century. 18th century, the Age of Enlightenment, reason, lasted between the 17th and 18th centuries. There are major differences between Renaissance and Enlightenment. Rebellion of intellectuals against superstition and ignorance. The Enlightenment emerged out of European intellectuals. The time's scholarly movement known as Renaissance. Renaissance was focused on the intellectual revolution. Objectives. Learning objectives. Upon completion lesson, students B outline the key events, locations, figures, Renaissance. Identify Renaissance and when and where it occurred. Identify Renaissance artists, explained how ideas affected. Explained the humanistic underpinnings of the Renaissance. Recognize connections between Renaissance and ancient times. Recognize Italy's importance to the Renaissance. Hat's questions. What is the difference between Renaissance and Enlightenment? Is Renaissance and Enlightenment the same? How did Renaissance ideas and humanism impact the scientific revolution? Why humanism important to the Renaissance? What era came after the medieval era? What was the role of women during Renaissance? What did the Renaissance lead to? Renaissance 1350 AD, 15th century Renaissance. Educational goals. Humanist expert Greek, Latin classics. Educational goals. Preparation people served dynastic leaders. Students, male aristocracy, upper class, ages 7 to 20. Instructional methods, memorization, translation, analysis, Greek, Roman. Curriculum, Latin, Greek classical literature, poetry, and art. Agents, humanist educators, lycée, gymnasiums, Latin school. Influence on education, knowledge, excellence, classical literature. 18th century became Age of Enlightenment, reason, rebellion of intellectuals against superstition and ignorance. Philosophers Descartes, 1595, 1650, Voltaire, 1745, 1827. Descartes, not educator, influenced development of education. Believes humans' power through reasoning, rational thought. Voltaire influenced Descartes through his extensive writings. Elevate formal education, new interest of learning. Frederick the Great, 1712-1786, of Prussia. Voltaire's friend, believed value of educated populace. He implemented some of the first laws regarding education and licensing of teachers. He wanted people learn, read, and write in order them to become useful citizens, but didn't see needs extending general education. While philosophers Descartes and Voltaire uphold reason, they advocated for reason and scientific inquiry. Its second movement signaled a revolution, became known as emergence of common man. Previously, common people accepted lot in life. They are not challenged the fixed order, such as the divine right of kings. And the strict stratification, classification of society. And now, people were revolting against the established. They order demanding better life, more opportunities. Education became important because it was seen. Because it was seen. Education helps allowing people to better themselves. This philosophy also had profound implications politically. 18th century, time of governmental unrest, revolt. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, 1712-1778, primarily philosopher. He wrote a book, The Social Contract, a book that played an important role. It influenced the thinking, awareness of people that led to American and French revolutions. Though he is not considered an educator, Rousseau wrote a great deal on education. His book, Emily, described ideal education of youth. Education should match a child's age of development. Rousseau also believed natural goodness of children. Johann Pestalozzi, Johann Pestalozzi, 1746-1827, was Swiss educator who actually put into practice Rousseau's ideas. Pestalozzi, like Rousseau, proponent of designing instruction to complement a child's stage of development. He believed learning should begin concrete experiences. Before moving abstract, start simple to complex. He advocated that children learned more effectively when feel secure and have healthy self-esteem. Children should be treated with love and kindness. Pestalozzi, sensitive to needs of poor children. He expressed deep compassion to needed children. Students Pestalozzi's Johann Friedrich Herbart, 1776-1841, refined Pestalozzi's theories about education and developed five-step process for teaching still used. Preparation, the setup whereby student is helped understand how new knowledge relates to the old. Presentation, part of the lesson of students. New materials and manner that developmentally appropriate. Association, connecting new concepts with the old. Generalization, understanding the broad and wide-ranging concepts. Application, using new concepts or knowledge effectively. Friedrich Froebel, 1782-1852, was another proponent, advocate of Rousseau Pestalozzi's theories of education. Froebel established and settled the first kindergarten. Young children were given developmentally appropriate education with an emphasis on learning through experience and the social growth of the child. Believe women capable of teaching this group. Rapid growth of industrialization, urbanization, population growth. Societies soon felt needs for educated populace who could become efficient and competent workers. An Englishman named Joseph Lancaster, 1778-1838, developed a monitorial system for overcrowded schools. Older students, monitors, would teach younger ones under the direction, command of a teacher. This system allowed one teacher teaches hundreds. Monitorial system spread England to United States. Popular way quickly, cheaply educating immigrants population, though this group of educators and philosophers. Those philosophers influenced development of educational practice. Average European had access to little education. People this time could barely read, write. Upper class, wealthy, had advanced education. Female children this time educated at home. Household chores, music, drawing, painting, sewing. Conclusion. The Renaissance was time of tremendous intellectuals. The growth out the growth throughout Europe, like artists, scientists, writers, mathematicians, made advances their respective fields. This left an indelible mark on history. Social studies and history teachers are fortunate. They can teach Renaissance from a host, makes it appealing topic for learners. Reporters takeaway. Going through deep learning, I feel amazed. Methods teaching ideas, instruct reader forever changing. On journey of Renaissance that then unfold to the eager minds of the readers. Also revival of interest in classical ideas. It creates environment of learning and teaching. I found out that Renaissance fervent period. The movement focused on individual human. It is aimed on the intellectual revolution rather than solely focuses on religious doctrine. It was a European cultural, artistic, political, and economic rebirth following the Middle Ages. The thoughts of Renaissance promoted the rediscovery, the classical philosophy, the literature, and art. Also formed the basis for our learning, describes our modern life and beliefs today. It was a great advantage for us in building strong foundation in education, the most best person we could be. The importance of teaching us broad ideas to express ourselves better in this world. Call on action. What is the difference between Renaissance and Enlightenment? Is Renaissance and Enlightenment the same? How did Renaissance ideas and humanism impact the scientific revolution? Why humanism important to the Renaissance? What era came after the medieval era? What was the role of women during Renaissance? What did the Renaissance lead to? Pioneers. Jessica E. Celeste is an accomplished professional teacher with over 4 years experience in teaching. She currently assigned at Punctud Elementary School, Punctud Alegria, Surigao del Norte as teacher 2. She had an inspirational thought in life, determination, determination, the biggest key to become successful. When you are determined, nothing stops you. She grew up in a poor family. Her educational background shows her loved interest in the development of the student's personality. Joined different teaching, training programs and projects, which put her skills, talents, and teaching. The discipline she has chosen to build and a strong foundation between the organization. She graduated at Caravan Institute of Technology, Caraga, Alegria, Quechero Boundary, Quechero, Agosan del Norte, with a degree Bachelor of Elementary Education. She passed her licensure examination April 2013. She started pursuing learning and professional development. She is currently taking her master's degree in Agosan College Incorporation, ACI, Butuan City.